Hello, Michael. Where are you based, Diana?
I'm in New Jersey in the States here.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got snow today. I don't know if you can see on my window. It's like a winter
Oh,
wonderland.
wow.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Wow.
yeah, just enough. I hope it's like not a lot on the roads and stuff, but it's a nice little blanket. And we put up some new bird feeders the other day, so they're like it's so scenic right now. I just want to look out the window.
It's
They're
very nice.
yeah,
We don't get a lot from that in London, actually.
no.
No. And when we do, because we are not used to it, just the city just collapses and nobody can leave their house and the transport links are not working. But to be honest, it almost never snows, maybe once a year, if anything. This year, nothing so far.
Wow, really? That's funny. I used to work at The Economist, and my colleagues, a lot of them were in London, and I don't know. I guess it did seem like we got more than they did, but every now and then, I didn't realize that, to be honest. But I thought it's like, you're in the city, so it's not that hard to get around. But I mean, London's like an older city. It's crazy that you can't get around when it snows, and they just say,
Yeah, no,
okay.
in London itself, in the city center, yes, because especially it's underground, so everything is just different. But the moment you need to just leave to the outskirts, yeah, it's just different. But it doesn't snow a lot. It's mostly on the outskirts and outside, up north toward the Midlands or Scotland, of course.
Got it. That's cool.
Good.
Nice.
I'm
So
I'm from
shall we
Israel
start?
and I have like a positive 20 right now.
Where are
So
you?
from
Oh,
Israel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
no,
No, snow it's
bless
not
you.
from our we have some time in Jerusalem, the snow in Jerusalem and in the Golan, but we don't have a
No.
lot of snow here. No.
So that's very
Nice.
Pinterest for us. Okay, so I guess I'll start the presentation.
Sure.
Um, I'll just quickly. Have any of you been to London?
Not yet.
Many, many years ago.
Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing. So this is the St. Pancras Renaissance Hotel. Do you book events in London, Diana?
I do, on occasion. We have an event coming up in November that we're potentially looking for a hub in London. We're looking to do a hybrid event with pods throughout the globe.
Okay,
And so London would definitely be of consideration for us.
perfect. So this is, I'll give you an overview of the hotel. This is the I think this is the St. Pancras Renaissance Hotel. So we are in the heart of London. We are by St. Pancras International Station. So as talking about hybrid events, we are the best connected. Well, we are by St. Pancras, which is the best connected train station in Europe. So we have the Eurostar links straight to our doorstep. We have 5 underground stations, and we have the connections to the main cities in the UK. So we are very much used by clients thanks to our connection links. This is our beautiful building, originally opened as a hotel in 1873. At that time, only wealthy travelers could afford to travel by train, so they needed a grand hotel by the station to accommodate all those travelers. Sir Gilbert Scott, one of the architects of Queen Victoria, he was given this task, and he created this beautiful hotel, which looks a little bit like a French cathedral. He was a big fan of the Gothic style. Thank you for everyone for the messages. I left a message at the beginning with my details, and in case you want to reach out if you have any other questions or events to discuss. But any other question you may have, please feel free to write it in the chat. We'll do some Q&As at the end. So I'll just quickly go. Apologies for this. So this is where we are at the in London. So we are by St Pancras, as mentioned, where the little icon is. Can you see my screen well?
Yeah.
Amazing. Good.
Details,
That's what
so
matters.
and you could share that maybe.
Excuse me?
I didn't see your details in the chat. If you can share that at the end, that'd be great.
I resend them. I resend them right now. 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
No problem.
Perfect. So yeah, so going back into, this is the area. So this area had a very strong redevelopment in the last 10 years. And British people are great at keeping the history of the spaces and bringing very modern restaurants and shopping districts into historical spaces. And this is what happened in Granary Square and in all this area in Coldstrop's Yard. So we are quite focused on obviously discovering the local area for international travelers, but because we just want to make sure there's enough and they're aware of what they can do in the area. As mentioned, we are by Eurostar, so we are the only hotel by the St Pancras station, which means we have a VIP service for all our guests staying in suites, and we can arrange it for VIPs. And that means that anyone arriving to London by the Eurostar or departing from London with the Eurostar to the northern part of Europe, we can arrange what we call the seat to suite. So the guests would be picked up at their carriage in Eurostar, and we could take them straight into their suite within 15 minutes through the fast track of the station. This is quite a unique thing. So for any events that we have with VIPs, we try to accommodate this. Talking about sustainability, that's a big focus for us as a hotel. And if you want more details, I can definitely send you more details about what we do. But one of these things is when we are talking about European events or international or US events with different hubs, people like to know that the Eurostar is here because they can connect with other destinations in Northern Europe by train rather than flights. And this is our hotel. So it's a Grade 1 listed building, which is given by the English government to buildings that have exceptional interest. Out of all the buildings they give listed buildings to in the UK, only 2.5% are of Grade 1. So we are a very unique building. We are quite lucky to be able to have our hotel here. So this is how the interior of the hotel looks like. And I'll give you first a quick overview of the restaurants that can also be privatized for events. And then we will go through the events and meeting spaces in particular. So this is the Handsome. This is the main restaurant and bar at the hotel, very popular for business travelers during the day, but it can also be privatized for up to 250 people standing. This is our booking office. This is the original ticketing office at the hotel. In 1873, when the hotel was built, this was actually where people would go to buy their tickets before going inside the station to take the trains. So we did a full renovation of the space and we reopened it in November. And it's a very vibrant space for the evenings, for drinks and dinner. And it can also be privatized for large groups of up to 200 people or by areas. So it's great for after events to just have some areas there for drinks. And then going into the actual meeting spaces. So I will just show you a quick overview of different spaces we have, but I think the main thing would be that all our meeting spaces, that we have 10 in total, they all have natural daylight, really high ceiling, and they are all in the historical, with this historical feel. So we can do anything from 10 people up to 575 standing or 240 cabaret, like in this setup, for example. So we can do in person, we can do hybrid events, of course, and these are different setups that we can do. This is another option. My favorite room at the hotel is the ladies' smoking room. this is the first public space in Europe where ladies were allowed to smoke. And it can be used in conjunction with the handsome hall room that we just saw, or on its own. And the good thing about having 10 meeting spaces in very different areas of the hotel is that we are very much used for hybrid events or in-person events when people need a lot of breakout spaces, and all of them have a different name and a different story to tell, so you can do a little bit like a historical flow within the event as well. This space comes with a terrace, with a private terrace for the attendees and the best view of the facade of the hotel. This is another example of the gallery. In the beautiful grand staircase we've seen before, we can also do private receptions. So if you're having, for example, a smaller breakout rooms or a small meeting for up to 50 people, we can do VIP receptions here. So it's a very unique space. And these are just some examples of smaller rooms that can be used for breakouts or just for meetings, for smaller meetings. In the summer, we also have a roof garden, very popular, especially last year. We can do up to 100 people standing, and it's great for summer barbecues. So a lot of people use it as summer barbecue events, or after doing again a or a business meeting during the day, they can just book this area in the evening just to relax and have some social drinks with colleagues. So this is another option we have at the hotel. I also wanted just to mention that we have 3D floor plans of all our spaces. So if you are considering to do an event with us, we can always send all these floor plans to help you visualize the events that we can do at the hotel and how they would work. And that's a quick overview of the event spaces. So as mentioned, we have a big variety. But we also have bedrooms. So if your event, especially for international events, you need accommodation, we have a good amount of bedrooms, 245. I'll show you just some images of them, but I also wanted to mention that some of our largest suites can also be used as meeting spaces, as I will show you. These are some examples of our standard bedrooms, especially for groups. We have twins and we have kings, and they all have this modern touch, but mixed again with that historical part of the building. As we can see, even the windows, we have those little arches from the neo-Gothic style of the building. So we have mixed that modern business traveler type of requirements with that history of the space. We also have some junior suites that are overlooking the Eurostar tracks. They are very popular. Some people have want to just, for example, if they're staying after taking the Eurostar, or if they are taking it in the morning, they request to stay here because it's a beautiful view of inside the station and the tracks. And they're not noisy at all because obviously there is no movement once the trains are inside the station. And these are just some other examples of suites at the hotel. This is my favorite, the Sir Gilbert Scott suite. It's named after the architect. And this is one of the examples I was mentioning that we can convert into meeting spaces. So we can do breakfast meetings or boardroom meetings. We can do evening drinks or breakout rooms. So we have several clients that are booking our all our 10 meeting spaces and all our suites so that they can use them as breakouts, or if, for example, they're meeting clients, they keep them as one-to-one meetings for VIP clients, etc. So these are some of the options we can do. And we also have 3D floor plans for all the suites, so we can also share these.
Sorry, on the last one, how many people can you fit, like with COVID restrictions and stuff like that?
In this one?
Yeah.
So we can fit 10. In the UK at the moment, we don't have, well, since summer last year, we don't have any COVID restrictions in terms of events. So we don't, by law, we don't have to follow social distance unless the client wishes to do so.
Okay.
So yeah, this one without social distance, we can do 10 people with existing setup. If it's standing, we can fit more, of course.
Okay, thanks.
These are second largest suite. This one is very much used as well, for example, for when they need to record an announcement or CEO announcements or hybrid studio areas, etc. They're very popular as well. And this is our royal suite, very British with the Queen in there. This is the living room of the royal suite, and only the living room we can fit 100 people standing. We can do in here also boardroom setup meetings for up to 24 people. We can do afternoon teas. We do standing parties, breakouts, etc. We have a lot of filming at the hotel in general, and this is one of the most popular ones, especially when they want to show this British iconic type of style of the building. And also, we obviously have the floor plan. Last but not least, probably the most popular part of our hotel, which is our spa. And just to mention our leisure club, which includes the spa, steam room, and the sauna, is complimentary to all the guests of the hotel. So anyone staying for attending a conference, they can just relax in their spare time. And yeah, and I wanted to quickly show you a video of the hotel, which will help you visualize even better Can you see it and hear it?
Yep. Yep.
Fantastic. So enjoy. Amazing. So that was me. Any question? Okay, I can see some question. I want this burger. Who doesn't want this pie? Unique and beautiful. Do we have COVID regulations for the in-person events? Great, that's a very good question. So as I was mentioning, in the UK, since early last year, we don't have any COVID regulations as per the government for events. So events can take place as usual. We obviously have, as part of the Marriott group, we are very, very conscious with the way we do the cleaning, very continuous cleaning, sanitizing stations. All our staff is wearing masks, etc. But from the government, we don't need to keep social distance, for example. So unless the client specifically asks for it, we would just run as usual. But yeah, that's a very good question. And also to mention, for those ones that are not in the UK, probably many of you, from Thursday next week, the new regulations from the government are that in the UK, we don't even have to wear masks anymore. So it's definitely moving forward and going to the right direction. Amazing. Does anyone else have any other question? Thank you for all the beautiful comments about the hotel. I'm glad you like it.
What was the year that the hotel was built? And I feel like I was in Toronto or Montreal in the last year, and it was there was another place that's very similar. Are there sister properties in Canada that the Sir Gilbert Scott worked on?
Really? Oh, I don't know about that. I will do some research. The
Okay.
building was actually built in 1869, and it opened in 1873 as the Grand Midland Hotel. So it was a hotel until the 1935, and then it was closed for decades. They even wanted to demolish it until we opened as the St. Pancras Renaissance Hotel only 11 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. I mean, that King's Cross area that's seen a resurgency kind of, if you will.
Yes.
Cool. Many,
Yes.
many years ago, my parents owned a flat there.
It was probably a very different area.
It was really where all the hipsters were.
Yes.
And the fashion was like 7 years ahead at that point than New York. And it was quite an experience for a younger self to be in.
Yes. Oh, glad to hear. Yeah, now we have behind our hotel the headquarters of the European headquarters of companies like Google, Facebook, Universal Music, Sony Music, DXC. So we have Havas Media. So we have they're just literally behind our hotel, and they use us. So it's definitely a very different area, probably to when you were here last.
Yeah, I would say so. Very cool. Thank you for sharing all that. I've set up a meeting from your calendar. I look forward to touching base next week.
Great. Amazing. So you also have, if anyone else wants a meeting, feel free to just set up a meeting on the calendar, or just drop me a note on my email. And I'm based in London. I'm at the hotel every day. We have no restrictions here. So if you want to have a virtual tour, any more details or discussions about events, just let me know.
Thank you. I've got to run, but thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to close. It was 3 minutes late. So thank you everyone for joining. I hope you enjoyed. Any feedback, just let me know, and enjoy the rest of the show.